Okay, so for this one, in InDesign, we're going to focus on importing text and photographs. So we'll start with the photographs. So if we had a new document, we set it up, and then we kind of start out with this. It'll probably should look right around here. And then you can add new pages right here. So if we add those, it kind of adds more pages to where we can see right here. If you think of this as almost like your layers palette, but because we're dealing with books or magazines or articles, they're pages. So if we're on that first page, which you can jump to a page by double clicking on that page. So if you need to go to page 3 really quick, you can just double click on it. The other thing too, if you remember from the last one, we want to not have the pages facing. So if we can see right here, this is what it looks like in our pages folder or pages menu, what it looks like when the pages are facing. So if you accidentally hit OK, like I did right here, and you need to change that, you can go to File, Document Setup, or Alt-Control-P if you like the shortcuts. And then you can even change the number of pages here, but uncheck facing pages. You can still even adjust the size of your document if you need to right here. So and then we're going to go ahead and hit OK. Now we can see this. So this is what it looks like when they are changed to non-facing, which again, for PDF purposes, that's why we're unchecking the facing pages section. That way, when you make it into a PDF and digitally turn it in, each page will be its own separate thing. Otherwise, you will get your first page will look kind of nice, and then the next 2 pages down will be kind of small. So this way, they're all the same size. Now I have it on letter. So again, if we wanted to half letter it, you can kind of put that and divide it in between for a fold line. So this one I'm going to focus on as if you were doing a short story or novel or essay, article, something like that. The other thing we can do too is, so this is what the half lettering is, what it starts with. So right now we have an 8.5 by 11 page with it split down the middle for our fold line. But the nice thing about InDesign, so if we go File and we go New Document, so let's say we did 20 pages, unfacing, and then we see letter, but see how that has letter half or legal half? And then, so if we hit letter half and we hit OK, it'll automatically put it in a half letter document. And that is including too, if you wanted to change the orientation to be portrait or landscape. Most of the time for a novel article, it's going to be in the portrait format. But that's not to say you can't experiment with it and check it out. But then each page is actually separated that way. So so that's what I'm going to do for this one right here. So the next thing you would need to do is find your document. So you would, of course, have to write that first. I would recommend Microsoft Word or Google Docs. If you're definitely more comfortable with that, that would be fine. Let's say you type it out, you've written your story. It saves automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. But we do need it to be on the desktop of the computer. So after you're finished, you would go to File, and you would go to Download As, and I would download it as a Microsoft Word document. I've already done that for this one. It should end up in your downloads folder. So if I go back to InDesign and I go, and by the way, just a little side shortcut, if you're wondering to cycle between programs, if you hold Alt on your keyboard and then hit Tab, you can go back and forth pretty quickly to different programs instead of using your mouse and all that. Okay, so right here we're going to go to File, Place, or Control D for the shortcut if you like that. And then you just need to find it. So like I said, it'll probably end up in your downloads if you do it through the Google Doc way. And we see it right here. It says a Word document. So you're just going to double click. And then you should see something like this on your cursor, where it kind of maybe even has some text and all that with a little symbol looking like a paragraph symbol, and then with the cursor in the top left corner with guidelines. So if you just take that and put that into the guide, so what this is your margins. That purple box is your margins. Sorry, I didn't mention that before. So with that being your margins, you're going to want everything to fit into this purple box. And do not worry, any of these boxes do not print. So when I click right here, I accidentally messed that up. So let me try that again. All right. It is doing something weird. Oh, duh. So you can see right there, it did place it, but you're going to want to hold Shift. Sorry about that. You're going to want to hold Shift, and now you see that paragraph symbol change to almost like a squiggly map symbol. What that means is that it'll continue as long as the text is needed. So if I click right here in that corner, now we can see that the text has gone on to, looks like 3 pages. And it looks like blocks right here. If we Control plus and zoom in, that is what we've gotten, is blocks.